and welcome back to another pre-match show here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium in what is due to be a very hotly contested game today between ourselves, Walsall, and our visitors, Stevenage. Both teams are coming into this game in red-hot form, having both started the season superbly. Both sides have won all three of their games so far. That's 2 in the league and 1 in the cup. Stevenage have won their 3 all by the same scoreline of 2-1, and they've scored some very late goals in those games. They've scored in the 84th minute, the 88th, the 89th and the 90th. So they are ones for us to watch out because they have scored, like I say, some very late goals. Ahead of today's game, I do have a couple of information points for you, so please just bear with me while I just take a look at those for you. There will be a water refilling station in operation today here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium, with temperatures set to reach up to 35 degrees. We are encouraging supporters to stay hydrated where possible. All of our kiosks will be very well stocked today ahead of the 3 p.m. kickoff. So if you do want to bring your own water bottles, please make sure they are plastic. You won't be let in with metal or glass bottles for obvious safety reasons. The water refilling station will be situated in the stand that's directly opposite me at the moment. That's the Poundland stand. It'll be in the lower tier Undercroft, just outside the community hub, so make sure you take full advantage of those at the moment. If you are bringing a plastic bottle into the game today, please make sure you do remove the lid. Obviously we aren't allowed, due to EFL regulations, to have bottles with lids on the top. If you are looking for another type of beverage that is an alcoholic one, the Stadium Suite will be open before the game and during half-time. But like I mentioned prior to the Hartlepool game, the Stadium Suite won't be open after the full-time whistle. However, if you are still seeking a beer, a wine, whatever it is that takes your fancy, please do head into the community, the hub, the one that's in the Poundland lower tier. That will be open after the full-time whistle. And if you want to watch the 5:30 kickoff in the Premier League, I believe it's Brentford against Manchester United, which should also be a good game for yourselves. Heading into today's content in our pre-match show, we've got plenty coming up for you. We're going to take a look back at the highlights from our 1-0 win against Stevenage all the way back in August 2021. It was former head coach Matt Taylor's first win in charge, and Connor Wilkinson was the goal scorer after 5 minutes in that one. So we'll have that game coming up very shortly for you in today's pre-match show. Also coming up today, we are going to be hearing from the head coach Michael Flynn as he talks about the cup draw, of which we drew Charlton Athletic at home. The League One side will visit here on the 23rd of August. Those tickets are now on sale, and season ticket holders do have up until Tuesday the 16th to renew their season ticket seats. If you want to purchase those tickets, either call the ticket office on 01922 651 416 or visit our e-ticketing website, or if you are coming to the game today, head to the ticket office and simply ask them for a ticket for that game. Tickets are priced at £10 for adults, £5 for concessions and £5 for under 18s. Like I say, Michael Flynn will be talking about that cup draw. He'll also be giving us an injury update on those that are currently out. But he has to say that he's proud of everybody that he's pulling on a shirt at the moment. So that is a really key point of the interview that's coming up. And he'll also preview today's game against Stevenage. Other content that we've got coming up today is we are going to be hearing from defender Liam Bennett. Liam Bennett was somebody who Michael Flynn actually highlighted that it was his man of the match for the game on Tuesday night against Swindon. What a win that was as well. So we'll be talking to him about how he settled into life here at the club and what he's felt like playing in front of the fans here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. But to get our content underway, we've got a little bit of a new feature here on the pre-match show. We're going to be talking to striker Connor Wilkinson, who did score that goal against Stevenage all the way back in August last year. We have got the quiz of increasing difficulty. He's going to face 5 questions, Connor Wilkinson is. We're going to start off nice and easily, and then, as we say, it's going to be a quiz of increasing difficulty, so every question that he's going to face is going to be just that little bit more difficult. Those 5 questions are coming up now. How many of these, before Connor gives you the answers and before I give you the answers as well, would you have got right? Let us know in the comment section below. And Connor, let's see how you get on. Question 1. How many goals did you score last season?
10.
Well, that's 1 right. We're off to a good start. Question 2. How many League 2 appearances did you make last season?
33.
Correct. Well done. Question number 3. Who did you score your first Football League goal against in your career?
I think it was for Oldham against... I remember it as well. Walsall.
Correct. Well done. That's 3 out of 3 so far. Question number 4. What date did you make your professional league debut for Torquay?
Oh, God knows, mate. Couldn't tell you that.
Any guesses?
And we're going to say 2017.
Miles off it. 15th of February 2014.
14.
Yep. And the final question. What day did Walsall announce you as a signing?
28th of June.
Got the month right, but it was the 11th of June. But well done, that's 3 out of 5. Not a bad effort. So that was the quiz of increasing difficulty with Connor Wilkinson. It's great to see him getting involved in that sort of content, and if you want to see more Connor Wilkinson content, please just let us know down in the comment section below. If you want to see an update from him on how he's getting on during his injury, or an update from somebody say like Josh Labadie as well, who's also going through a similar process, like I say, please do let us know and we'll try and bring that to you maybe in the next pre-match show. Well done to Connor as well for getting 3 out of 5. They were quite tough, especially towards the end. Let us know, like I say, how many did you get in that quiz? Next up in today's pre-match show, we're going to be taking a look back to those highlights against Stevenage back in August 2021. Connor Wilkinson was the star of the show in that one as he scored the only goal in the game after 5 minutes to secure the Saddlers a 1-0 win. Let's have a look at those best bits from that game. Those were the highlights from that 1-0 win against Stevenage here at the stadium back in August last year, and it was a very much needed 3 points on the day. So let's hope we can have a similar sort of result here at a very sun-kissed Poundland Bescot Stadium. Next up in our pre-match show, we are going to be hearing from head coach Michael Flynn as he gives us his reaction to drawing Charlton Athletic in the second round of the Carabao Cup. He gives us a little bit of an injury update as well, and he also talks to us about what he's expecting from Steve Evans' Stevenage side. Michael, I think a place to start would be the cup draw that was made on Wednesday evening. It's Charlton at home. Is that a draw that whets the appetite for you?
I'm just glad it's at home, to be honest, because we've got a long enough week already with the travelling, Barrow and Gillingham, so thankfully we were pulled out first. It's going to be a tough game. They've got a good squad, they're looking to get into the Championship. Ben's there, he started well as well after a good season with Swindon, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You spoke about just being 3 games in. We're unbeaten in 3 wins. Stevenage are exactly the same. They'll be coming into the game high on confidence as well, with a good win against Reading on Tuesday night.
Yeah, well, look, it's going to be a tough game. They're very much direct. They've backed Steve over the summer, and he knows this league inside out. So it's going to be a tough challenge. You know, we've got to win. You know, our individual battles, defend. You know, as we have been, and take our chances the other end, because it is going to be a typical tough League 2 game tomorrow.
In their 3 games so far, I think they've scored a goal in the 84th, the 88th, the 89th, the 90th. That lateness there, you know, they can go on and win games late on. It's all about maybe the mental side of things in the later side of it, not showing maybe a little bit of fatigue, isn't it?
Listen, they've got a group of men. You have a look at their team, they're very experienced. The players they've got there, so yeah, I'm not expecting anything other than a tough game tomorrow. It is. We're getting into the into the swing of things now. Players are getting fully match fit, and when you start well, the confidence is high, and it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow.
We've got a number of boys still on the injury table, ones that, you know, that longer term, but how are we looking for the likes of maybe Ocean, Joe Riley, Liam, the ones that we thought were maybe a little bit closer?
No, they're still out, so it is what it is. It's the cards were dealt. I need to get on with it. Not ideal, but it is what it is, and look, you know, once we have them back, we'll have a very strong squad to choose from. And but look, I've got to do with what I got at the minute, and those players have been doing extremely well and putting pride back into the Walsall shirt.
Those were the thoughts of head coach Michael Flynn ahead of this afternoon's 3 o'clock kickoff against Stevenage. I hope you're enjoying the content so far in today's pre-match show. And next up for you, we have got a little clip from when we spoke to Liam Bennett earlier on in the week. The on-loan Cambridge United defender made his full debut for the Saddlers in Tuesday night's 2-0 win over Swindon Town in the first round of the Carabao Cup. And we chatted to him about how he's settling into life here at the club and what it's been like for him playing in front of you guys, the fans. So here you are, here's that clip from Liam Bennett. Well, Liam, how have you found settling into the season now? It's 2 appearances under your belt. You must be proud to have made your debut, the full debut, on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. I was happy to get my opportunity, and I felt I took it quite well. Settled in really well. It's a great group of lads here, and yeah, looking forward to the times ahead.
We're unbeaten in 3, Stevenage are unbeaten in 3. It's going to be a real good test for us this weekend, but like everybody says, it is a long season, but things are really starting to get into the swing of things now, aren't they?
That's it. I mean, we're not going to get carried away. We're going to take it game by game and make sure we prepare properly. Look, Stevenage have started really well, but so have we, and we're confident that we can go out there and give a good account of ourselves and see what happens.
The fans have been phenomenal. They have been for a long time now, but the last 2 home games have really whetted the appetite almost, and hopefully we'll have another big crowd this weekend.
That's it. I know it's a cliche saying, but they really are the 12th man, and when they do get behind us, it really does help. So we'll be needing them Saturday when times get tough, and throughout the season, and yeah, we'll do our best to make them proud.
So those were the thoughts of Liam Bennett coming into today's game against Stevenage. I'm now joined by my colleague Paul, as we always are at the end of our pre-match show. And I think Liam Bennett is a good place for us to start, actually, because Michael Flynn said in his post-match interview after the Swindon game that he thought he was the man of the match, and there were a lot of man of the match performances in there, but he was a real standout, wasn't he?
He was. I thought it was electric, especially on that left-hand side in the first half. Bombing down that left-hand side, getting on the overlaps, got some good crosses in as well. He was very energetic and, full throttle in his performance on Tuesday night. It was very impressive, and rest assured, he's certainly given Michael Flynn food for thought. Obviously, he's been on the bench in the first 2 league games, and you've got Hayden White on the right-hand side, Taylor Allen back available, perhaps on the left-hand side as well. So, all of a sudden, there's options on either left wing-back role for Michael Flynn heading into today's game.
That can only be a good thing, isn't it? Because you always talk about, well, so far this season we've obviously got plenty of injuries, but to have somebody versatile like him who's come in on loan and really impressed since he's come in during pre-season and during the start of the season as well, that's really good to have a young player so keen to impress and impressing as well.
That's it. He is keen, and he's shown a really good attitude, I think, from the day one of pre-season with the way he's trained, hasn't he? I think he's got some really good running stats as well, and the effort he's putting in and looking after himself and his enthusiasm. You could tell by the way he was playing on Tuesday night. He was really enthusiastic in both defending and going forward. So there's a lot of good attributes there, and I think the way this squad has been built, there's plenty of players who can play multiple positions. Tom Knowles is another one, for example, who's come in from Yeovil and looks really bright as well. So again, it's just more food for thought for Michael Flynn and more options and a lot of flexibility by the look of it.
Yeah, it's one of those. Tuesday night was another different type of performance. It was a different type of game. We spoke about the Hartlepool game last time out. It was it was a fantastic performance. You've used the term electric. It was, it was brilliant. 4 goals in that one. The Newport game was completely different in regards to the way we had to battle to get that win. Tuesday night was all about being patient, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'd say Tuesday night was sort of between the two in a way, because I thought the first half, I think Michael Flynn admitted this, our first half we took a while to get going. We maybe gave Swindon too much respect, but Swindon didn't really threaten. I thought the Saddlers were very solid in that first half, didn't look vulnerable at all, but I think also created a handful of opportunities. Then in the second half, the Saddlers really stepped it up and were really going for Swindon. The pressing, the intensity built up, but again, just couldn't quite break them down. It took until the 75th minute. Ronan Mayer comes on, wins a penalty that, eventually after the referee consulted with his assistant, and then the floodgate, not the floodgates, but the Saddlers kicked on from there, didn't they, and got that second goal. And it, like you say, Tom, it was more of a patient performance, and the Saddlers didn't get frustrated, and they kept doing what they were doing. They didn't change their approach. They just kept patient with the ball, building up attacks, kept pressing, kept working hard, and eventually they got their reward. So it wasn't quite like the Hartlepool where it seemed like everything the Saddlers touched went in the back of the net. It was one they had to work for and one they had to just keep that level head, and they certainly did that. So we've, like you say, Tom, we've seen sort of 3 different elements to this team, which bodes well.
And it was the thing that was most impressive for me was when we scored that first goal. There was no sitting back when they went down to 10 men. Okay, we'll see this one out at 1-0. The team was straight at them again. I think it was Tom Knowles down here on this left-hand side, won the ball straight back immediately, went into the box, had a shot, and then as soon as that ball was recycled, it was a case of we're going to go and win it back again. Then it was Jack Earing slotting it in for Danny Johnson, who had the first shot, and then Timmy right on the money to tap home from close range, and that one was his goal. But going straight for the jugular again was another impressive side to this team.
Yeah, it was literally straight from the kick-off, wasn't it? And Saddlers, I think Swindon didn't have time to breathe, and that's something that we're seeing this season. The Saddlers aren't giving teams time to breathe, and it's actually really exciting to see the way the team pressed as well. As even when the ball went behind, it wasn't like a reset. It was the team was straight on it, straight down their throats, and they couldn't cope with that. And Jack Earing, what a lovely ball that was down the channel. And again, that's another player giving Michael Flynn food for thought. Just come back from injury, which meant he was probably not quite ready to start the first game of the season. Brandon Comley and Liam Kinsella started the 2 league games in that position, but Jack Earing as well, he gave Michael Flynn something to think about. As this spray's giving me something to think about, spray me, cooling me down in this weather. But again, there's more options. Again, he even mentioned how Brandon Comley could slot into that back three as well, and shown that he can do that job as well. So again, it's not a case of square pegs in round holes. There's players who can play at least 2 positions, and they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, they are. Paul, the groundsman, well, not ruining, but interrupting us again on the pre-match show. This time we've got the sprinklers coming towards us, but we'll carry on as best as we can. But going into today's game, we mentioned those different types of games, but Stevenage, red hot form like ourselves, 3 wins from 3 games, coming into this game off the back of a really impressive win against Championship side Reading. They'll be high on confidence as well, and will prove to be another tough test.
They will be high on confidence, and they've had a busy summer themselves with some, made some astute signings. I think they've got Danny Rose in there up front. He scored on Tuesday night, I think, and Pierre Gianni as well at centre half. Another
Dan Sweeney coming as well.
Yeah, from Forest Green, wasn't it? Really some really astute signings, some good signings. And Steve Evans, he knows this league well. Got promoted with Crawley, for example, and so yeah, it will be another difficult test. A team in red hot form, a team who are confident, a strong team, probably a different challenge. I think Michael Flynn said they'll be quite direct, so we like to be in teams' faces the way we press. They might try and get into Walsall's faces. So it's a really fascinating matchup, and it looks like 2 evenly matched teams, at a time in the season where they both seem to be at the top of their game. So it's got the makings of a really good game of football.
Yeah, speaking of people being at the top of their game, we'd like to thank everybody for their support so far this season. It's great to see so many people coming back to the stadium, isn't it? We sit in the office all week and we hear those coming up to the ticket office window saying, I've not been to a game for a couple of years for one thing or another. We've even had some come back from 10 years now, and this is just slowly starting to form something really special again here. Michael Flynn building that bond between the team and the support base, the community. Travella coming in, doing exactly the same sort of thing, and there is just that feeling of something could be happening here. We don't want to get ourselves too carried away, but something does seem to be, the ball does start, he's rolling on that.
Yeah, it's the community element that is massive, and Michael Flynn, credit to him and all his staff. They've come in and they've really bought into the club, they've bought into the ethos, and they share those same values as well, which is really important. So because they've bought into it, the fans have bought into them, and that relationship is really good. And you can see from the way the fans have got behind the team, even when it was against Newport, when we weren't dazzling with the ball and creating chance after chance, they really got behind the boys to make sure they helped them grind that result out, and that's exactly what happened. And like you say, Travella as well have come in. The whole community is buzzing at the moment, and everyone wants to be a part of it, and everyone's welcome to be a part of it, and it is something that's buzzing. I think obviously winning football matches breeds momentum, and there's momentum about the whole club at the minute, heading in the right direction. So I think everyone's just got to make sure we hold those values, and we remember those values through the good times and the bad, because as everyone says, there will be bumps in the road. Of course there will be, but it's about how everybody responds to those, and I think there's all the makings there that the team and the staff will respond in the right way.
And if you are going to be that proverbial 12th man again today, if you are coming and you haven't got your ticket, make sure you allow plenty of time before heading to the ticket office. We are expecting it to be a little bit busy, and if you are waiting out there in the queue, please make sure you've got some sun cream on, plenty of water as well, plenty of fluids, and like I say, please allow yourself plenty of time to arrive at the game today. There are some travel disruptions as well on the train, so please check out our website at saddlers.co.uk for all the updates on those as well. And if you are inside the Poundland Bescott Stadium at half-time, we've got a little bit of a quiz running. The questions will be up there on the big screen, so listen out on a tannoy for how you can get involved with that one. Like I say, thank you very much for joining myself and Paul today on our pre-match show. Thank you for your support as always, and come on you Saddlers.